Dying Light 2, not even because it wanted to, has become one of the most mysterious upcoming game at the moment. Why is that? Because we know absolutely nothing from it, and it has been this way since the very beginning of this year, when it was delayed indefinitely. What's even more strange is that months ago, it was told by its lead game designer that Dying Light 2 was in its final stages of development, and still, we have not one single update. A lot of people are even wondering if the game is completely cancelled, which would be absolutely terrible news, but no updates on that too. Until now, that is. We just received a formal update about the project, which will definitely reassure fans, I hope. Now, first of all, you might have seen the news earlier this year in May that Dying Light 2 was reportedly in a complete development mess. One of the developers, who obviously didn't name himself, reportedly secretly shared details on the game's development. According to that person, the game had shifted focus back and forth between the story and game mechanics, leading to confusion over what Dying Light 2 should be. The game reportedly lacks a vertical slice, a polished demo of a game developed early on to determine its direction and show consumers. Many of the issues were from a conflict between the head writer of Dying Light 2 and its game's creative director. The head writer wants to make a deep RPG experience, meanwhile the other has continually interfered with the narrative process. Now, this was starting to be scary for fans of the franchise, but a month later, the developers went on to deny all of these claims, and that the foundations remains the same since they have started work on production. This development mess could be totally fake, as stated by the developers themselves, but we never know, it could be real too. Maybe the game really is in a bit of a mess, but at the time of this video, I really hope these little troubles have been solved. Well, at least we've just had a new update thanks to a new PushSquare article, where they have reached out to the developers and confirmed the game is definitely happening still. Techland confirmed that the Dying Light 2 development is moving forward based on the revised schedule shared at the beginning of the year, and that hopefully we should expect it to release in 2021. Techland did not go into saying an exact release date or even a release window though, which in itself might confirm the game is having development problems as we speak, and it could be because of what I talked earlier. Considering the success of RPG games right now, it is pretty normal to think they would be trying the same thing with Dying Light 2. For me, I mostly hate open world RPG games in general, but there are some, it's rare, but there are some that are doing it right, and I hope Dying Light 2 can be one of them. I don't want to see a bunch of numbers above enemies' head, or just loot hanging around. Be more creative with it if you're planning on becoming an RPG, please. I could see the project becoming an actual RPG, with the world being many times bigger than all of the Dying Light map and DLCs combined. Also with the decision-making system where every choices you make, either with the people, the world or its zombies, will influence the course of the story. It fits pretty well in RPG game. The other thing that can perhaps explain the long delay is Techland changing plans and release Dying Light 2 on both current and next generation consoles. However, with the next generation launch taking place in over a month, it won't be announced as the beginning title of the consoles, but it will rather be a normal launch through 2021. So with this little to no update we just had, this is all still pretty weird, and beside the article where this news came from, again nothing else has been said. There has been a lot of allegations at Techland, including one I didn't mention about Techland's lead writer in June, being blacklisted for supposedly sexual assault and so on. It really is a bummer to hear that Techland is indefinitely delaying Dying Light 2, but the bright side to this story, if there is one, is the studio is using that time to work on the game story a lot more. One of the developers this year said, and I quote, "Delaying the game opened opportunities to nail down the story part of the game. Also the choices our players can make, as well as up the level of open world opportunities that player will face. Building this world takes time, and we want Dying Light 2 to be the evolution of what we started with in the first game. It's a setting that explains, it presents a world where the civilization has gone back to the Dark Ages. Right now in Dying Light 2, everything is brutal, primal, and merciless. Every faction in the open world is different, and everyone has different motives that will change its world, depending on the actions you make and the decisions. Though the real specifics on Dying Light 2 story haven't been revealed yet, the developers have given us some little tidbits of what we can expect. Set 15 years after the first game, your mission is to retrieve an object which could change the future of humankind. That's it. Also, the Dying Light 2 lead game designer shared some pretty exciting details about the game's length. While the main story will take around 15 to 20 hours to complete, wrapping up everything will take closer to 100 hours or more. It is very hard to measure in an open world game how long it actually takes to complete the game because of the things that happens between points A and points B of a quest. So basically it's up to you how you play it, said one of the developers. The replayability will also come from making the different decisions, thus changing the whole story. One of the best and biggest change to Dying Light is how the city around you will be completely transformed when you ally with one of the several factions in the open world. For example, allying with one faction can give the world a lot more order and almost no bandit, but this faction will be ruthless and very cruel with the civilians. The other way around, if you ally with this faction, you will have a lot more freedom for you and the civilians, but bandits will be more frequent and will want to use this freedom. More practically, depending on which faction you choose, you'll see corresponding banners and colors give a bit of life or complete misery into the region you're in. One of the faction, the Peacekeepers, will put their banners over buildings, build a bunch of outposts, and build walls, while another faction will do the complete opposite. One really cool thing is, in some parts of the game, if you didn't want to make this decision, you can try and reverse it, but it's gonna be hard. You need to do some additional stuff, like complete a couple of extra missions to fix the things that you think you wronged. But apart from those rare instances, all of the decisions are permanent. Most decisions in Dying Light 2 can't be undone, but it was really important for Techland to give some chances to the players sometimes, with the different missions available. There are places in crucial moments for the narrative where the developers felt there had a space for you to think back and realize that maybe what you decided to do wasn't the thing you really wanted to do, even if that's not a good thing. There are a couple of instances where they will give you a chance to rewrite those decisions. It has also been said, thanks to all those great information on PCGamer.com, Techland says it has doubled the parkour options. You can already see a lot of those new moves in the gameplay video, but there's more. As said by PC Gamer, Aiden, the main character, can seemingly vault through the tops of doorways, slide under tables, and use a loose pipe as a pole vault. This all sounds really promising, but we will first need to have an actual release date to be excited. I will definitely be letting you guys know about it when Techland gives us a new update. Alright, make sure you guys support this video for more gaming news like this by liking it and subscribe to stay tuned. Thanks to RickNo23, Themistocles, Pedro Oliveira, and Jigglyboy for being a master member on the channel. You can become a Survivor member for 99 cents only. It'll support me and the channel as a whole. Thanks for watching.